This is Appalling News, your most trusted source for fake real news. I'm Paul Chatto. The top story everyone is talking about from the UK: toddler accused of being transphobic or homophobic was suspended from nursery. The story actually goes back to the 2023 school year, but a Freedom of Information request by the Telegraph has brought it to everyone's attention. Data from the Department of Education showed a child, aged 3 or 4, was suspended from a state school for abuse against sexual orientation and gender identity. Although the school has not disclosed any further details of the incident, data does show 94 pupils at state primary schools were suspended or permanently excluded for homophobia or transphobia. This is a very important clue. We are left to wonder, how could a 3-year-old be transphobic or homophobic? It is interesting that the headline ordering presented the fashionable ahead of the real. A youngster only knows what it's exposed to. Either the parents of the child were regularly desecrating posters of Eddie Izzard and Freddie Mercury, showing videos of Izzard and telling the kid he's not funny any longer since he went trans, and decrying the gay lifestyle of Mercury. The only other place the child would learn of gay or trans would be in schools, which now relentlessly expose the concepts of gender ideology to these developing minds. Do you think that might be the connection? We are not social scientists here at Appalling News, but we're also not idiots. Did the data show abuse towards monkeys? If not, then clearly the schools have stopped reading Curious George to them. And what would constitute inappropriate commentary? Ha ha ha, you don't have a pee-pee? Maybe the child called their 6'2" teacher with the broad shoulders, Adam's apple, deep voice, 5 o'clock shadow, and high-heel Manolos, Mr. Was the gender identity crime against one of the school's sexually ambiguous, emotionally stunted teachers? We don't know. A Department for Education spokesperson said all pupils and staff should feel safe and protected at school and should never face violence or abuse. It seems that back when children were allowed to deal with problems on their own, most sorted things out just fine and were more well-adjusted. Meet Chanda Prescod Weinstein. She claims string theory failed to succeed because the field has too many white men. Chanda is a gay, black-identifying physicist and gender studies professor who says white empiricism undermines Einstein's theory of relativity. And of course, she is a member of a top advisory panel at the Energy Department. She is also a professor of physics and gender studies at the University of New Hampshire. Any school that offers a physics and gender study combo curriculum should be taken off your application list. She first raised eyebrows in 2020 when she argued that a culture of white empiricism, in which only white people are deemed capable of objectivity, undermines a significant theory of 20th century physics, general relativity. Later in the paper, she blamed racism and sexism for the slow pace of scientific discovery in physics. If only Cynthia Erivo would abandon her acting and singing career and take up theoretical physics, will string theory finally be proven. In a blog post, Chanda alleged that James Webb, the former head of NASA, for whom the agency's high-powered telescope is named, had overseen a purge of gay employees in the 1960s. This accusation was debunked in an 89-page report by NASA. If her hypothesis of homophobia was proven wrong, we wouldn't have much confidence in her ability to identify a proton from a neutrino. While we have no doubt that the professor can simplify a quadratic equation like a demon, it's clear she is more interested in activism than science. Appalling News endured this pedantic TED Talk which provided nothing new to what we already know about dark matter. No new firsts, except that it was probably the first TED Talk by a black lesbian theoretical physicist.
That's why I, as a black queer person, am so proud to follow in the footsteps of my ancestors, who studied and dreamed with the night sky, sometimes of freedom. Astronomers like Harriet Tubman, for whom the recently launched James Webb Space Telescope should be renamed.
Yes, the famous black astronomer Harriet Tubman, an American abolitionist and social activist. After escaping slavery, Tubman made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people in the 1800s, but no references that we could find about her discovery of the diffuse nebula M42 in Orion's belt. But we still need to change the name of the James Webb Telescope because a partially black lesbian said so. This is Appalling News, and that's the way it is.